We got into this step because we wanted to have a child.
When the doctor said, I highly suggest a surrogate, I'm like, great, let's do it.
If we could go $1 million in debt to have a baby, we would have.
I'm going to guarantee that you'll end up with 2 babies and nothing else.
Money, 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 money.
My name is Dan. I'm an engineer during the day. I work part-time as an energy advisor as well as a volunteer firefighter.
My name is Tracy, and we have a beautiful 7-month-old daughter named Senta.
We got into this step because we wanted to have a child.
I had endometriosis, which is a deterrent in having children, so we started IVF. And it's sort of like playing the lottery. You don't want to stop trying because you know that next month you could possibly get lucky. I had 6 miscarriages in total. After all the IVFs was about $80,000.
We never really had a cap on how much financially we were going to spend because we were determined to have a baby.
Then we went to a surrogate.
You basically are put in a situation, it's either, you throw more money at it and now you have a chance, or you don't.
Dan had actually lost his job, but then we made that commitment, so those dollars were definitely going to be leaving our bank account. Dan has a credit line and I have a credit line, which we maxed them both out. Here's the ultrasound, the 5-month ultrasound that she was healthy.
Found out we had a girl.
Then this is the day she was born. We got to hold her for the very first time. I love you.
We always had wanted more than one child.
The next big ticket item for us is probably going to be a sibling for Senta.
We had quite a few significant costs that came up in the last 4 or 5 months.
My car broke down. I had some dental issues, which set us back about $2,000, which was unexpected. How are we going to manage the bills? What if he loses one of his jobs? What if something else breaks down that we need? How is that going to fit into the equation? And we're really tapped out, so I don't know where any funding would come from.
We don't really have a very extravagant lifestyle. I don't eat out lunch every day. We don't go to restaurants. We don't travel a lot. There's not a lot of room for other things to squeeze out in our eyes. It's no longer just Tracy and I. We have Senta's future to think about, and we don't want to burden her with our debts.
I don't think I've slept a full night since we brought her home.
My greatest fear for our family is that we don't have another child.
This month, I'll help these parents stay in the black while bringing up babies. I have been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt and how to balance it all with the priorities of parenting. Tracy and Dan have spent years of their lives and thousands of dollars pursuing their baby dream. Now they want to add to their family, but they're totally tapped out. With a massive debt and no plan, these new parents need to take a hard look at their future. Hi, Gail Foss-Oxlade.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Tracy.
And I'm Dan.
Nice to meet you, Dan. If you don't mind, the first thing I'd like to do is drop my bag and have a quick look around. These guys have made a lot of financial sacrifices to bring this baby home. And she's clearly the center of their universe. And this is baby Senta's room. It's beautiful. They've been very creative, but these are not expensive, not exactly overkill. But I want to make sure they don't go too far in their quest to have it all. Dan and Tracy have a lovely home, and they don't spend a lot of money on stupid stuff. They do have 2 big competing priorities, and it'll be a test to see which one wins. You have a lot of debt right now. And where did it all come from?
We refinanced this house. We have a cottage.
And you built the cottage because by building the cottage, you increased the value of the property, which meant you could borrow more money.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a plan to start, and you didn't set any limits.
If we could go $1 million in debt to have a baby, we would have.
And you want to do it twice, at least.
Yes.
Okay? Where's all that money going to come from? Because if you compound this problem, I'm going to guarantee that you'll end up with 2 babies and nothing else. We're going to have to do something about your priorities. You guys are under the impression you can have everything all at once, and I'm here to tell you it's not working for you.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys have assets, but you also have a lot of liabilities. Tracy and Dan took out another mortgage and used some of it to build a cottage on a piece of property they owned. but the rest of it went to fertility treatments. When we look at your life category, you're in fine shape. You're only at 26.4%, which is not so bad, pretty close, okay? Your transportation costs are too high, and you've taken a complete holiday from savings, which I understand, because you've been spending money so fast, you can't possibly be saving anything. The thing you have to ask yourself is, how long am I going to be on this savings holiday? When we look at your housing costs just as housing costs, you're spending 27% of your income, which is well under the 35% that I usually recommend. The problem is, one roof is not enough for you. And in paying for 2 roofs, you are spending...
55, there you go.
That's a big chunk of your income. Can you see how we're running into trouble already?
Yep.
That leaves less money for everything else. You're currently spending about $900 a month to service your debt. It isn't enough. Some of your fertility costs are hidden in your mortgage, but the rest are here. This is your consumer debt. See this $45,000 that you owe, where you're only paying the interest every month? Keep going at this rate, and you will never pay this off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you go 10 years, you'll have paid another $25,000 in interest.
That's another car.
It's a quarter of a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're going to find your debt repayment eating up so much of your income that you actually have nothing to live on. You're overspending by $2,500 every month. Okay? Which means that at the end of 5 years, you'd be $1.2 million in debt.
It'd be very difficult to manage.
Yes.
And that does not include the $120,000 that you would spend on the next baby. You would have nothing.
That's not good.
I want to know whether you are prepared to go through with the rest of this process. Some of the things I'm going to ask you to do are going to be tough. And I need your commitment now that you will follow through.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. We can do that.
Okay, good. So, over the next few weeks, I'll give you a series of challenges to do. You do the challenges to my satisfaction, you'll get $5,000 to help you pay down the debt. You don't do the challenges, you don't get the money. So this month, what we're going to do is we're going to get you looking realistically at your finances. We're going to have you plan for the next baby. And the third thing is you're going to have to figure out how to balance your competing priorities so you can balance your parenting with your preparation for retirement.
Okay.
Okay.
The next thing you have to do is you have to get me your credit card and your debit cards because you're going to learn to live on cash, you're going to learn to live on less cash. Tracy and Dan's dreams of parenthood have finally become a reality.
I had endometriosis, which is a deterrent in having children, so we went to a surrogate. Unfortunately, it's a very, very expensive process that we weren't really prepared for.
Debt is an issue, but not having a child would have been a bigger issue.
But if they want another baby, they're going to have to start prioritizing.
We have a cottage mortgage, and we have a home mortgage. Wow, that's depressing. Don't anybody add that up, please.
We'd like our cake and we'd like to eat it too.
To get this financial fiasco under control, they'll have to follow my rules. For the next month, these parents will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars to pay down their debt. No changes, no money. Cards. Hey, look at the stack of those. No wonder you're in the poorhouse. Well, things are about to change. I'm cutting your variable expenses by 58% from about $3,000 a month to just about $1,300 a month.
It's a big difference.
You're going to have $125 a week for food. You will have $117 a week for transportation, $25 a week for entertainment,
That's good.
Okay.
clothing and gifts.
Awesome.
The other jar, and $50 a week for baby supplies. You think you can live on that?
Yes.
Yep.
So you want to hear what your first challenge is?
No.
You have to make a budget.
Okay.
You have to make a budget that balances.
Okay.
And in the making of that budget, you may have to make some tough decisions. Tracy and Dan's first run at the budget was an eye-opener.
So why don't we start with income and put in our total for income?
$65.91.
And the mortgage?
18. Electricity is about $70 per month. Gas is about $100 average a month, and water is about $20.
And income minus expenses is negative $1,172.
Tracy and Dan realized they might have to consider selling their cottage to fund a second surrogacy.
We definitely love our cottage. The tranquility up there is amazing. We can do whatever we want to do up there.
They met with local realtors who gave them a sense of the cottage's current value.
So this is a graph showing you the average cottage sale price in this area. Overall, we've been fairly stable. That's pretty good news. What we're going to try and do is look at some that do have some similarities geographically to what you have.
Okay, so these two cottages, both of them, have just sold within the last month and a half or so. This one was asking $599 and sold for $585.
So we're looking at the high fives.
The fact that our investment property actually has grown in value, so that makes us feel really good.
You've got a lot of value here in your property. However, it may take a long time to find the right buyer.
One of the dreams I had as a child was to have a cottage. We've obviously worked very hard, and we've now miraculously got a cottage, and we definitely want to keep it.
Renting out the cottage is also a possibility, and I think this would be a very, very popular spot if you decided to do that.
Maybe that would be the key to actually subsidizing and paying off the current debt we have.
It's a tough decision, and it's a decision that we do need to make.
You made a budget.
Yes.
You have a little bit of an overrun.
Just a tad.
So you're going to have to make a decision. I'm not going to make the decision, but if you won't let anything go, it's not going to end well.
Right.
Okay? Like, it will all come crashing down. It's only a matter of time.
If we did take into consideration cottage rental versus selling,
Right.
we allocated some funds for that.
But you still have this overrun.
Yeah.
You need to balance this budget by the time I see you on your last day.
Okay.
So I know that moving forward, this isn't just pie in the sky.
Okay.
Okay?
Me going back to work is obviously one of the biggest opportunity, I think, to generate more income regularly. But of course, then obviously you have to consider daycare would come out of that, gas would increase, food would increase.
In light of how tight this budget is, if you are planning to rack up more debt to have another baby, you've got to show me that you know how you're going to deal with that in the end. And that's what the next challenge is going to focus on. Okay? I want you to price out what it's going to cost you to get to that next baby. If you go into this next process as blind as you went into the first one, then you're just dumber than a sack of hammers.
I don't like the idea of putting a dollar value on a human potential life in this case, but maybe it is a worthwhile exercise, so I'm going to trust her judgment.
40-something parents, Tracy and Dan, have had some competing goals.
We're going to try having a sibling or siblings for Senta.
I'd like to retire at 60.
But while they're contemplating spending thousands on a second surrogate pregnancy, they can't afford their current lifestyle. Your housing costs. That's what's bleeding you dry right now. Something's got to give. But this couple wants it all. Maybe properties or baby. Properties or baby.
I would like to have my cake and eat it too. My thoughts are get 2 cakes.
If they want my $5,000, they're going to have to downsize that cake. This week, I sent them to a surrogacy expert to see if having another child is financially realistic.
I'm very nervous about going back into the process. There's a lot of unknowns. Is it going to happen? What the cost is going to be? Who is our surrogate? We don't even know that yet. So yeah, it's frightening. It's frightening.
I'm Sally. I've been a private counselor for 10 years, and I help couples that are looking to pursue surrogacy by providing information, referral, and support.
You can never learn enough about this process. It's ever changing.
Do you have embryos frozen currently?
Yes.
How many embryos do you have?
Just 2 left. So we want to be very cautious of how we approach this.
Yes. Locally, there's a 75% failure rate to do surrogacy, versus over the border, you're looking at 75% chance of success.
What is the reasons for the failure?
We have a higher percentage of surrogates here that will drop out simply because they do not receive as much money to cover their expenses.
I was shocked by the success rate locally versus crossing the border.
If you're looking to do surrogacy locally, you need to budget about $50,000, versus if you go over the border, you're looking anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000. Of course, you're legal and you're traveling on top of that.
For the extra 20 or 15 to 20,000 to cross the border to have a successful pregnancy instead of sort of taking our chances, that's something that we're really going to have to take into consideration when we put these numbers together.
You learned a lot this week.
We did.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. It sort of solidified the cross-border option.
The structure across the border is a lot more rigid,
Yes.
and that's why they have a higher success rate. Whereas here it's a lot looser,
Yes.
and that's why the success rate. So it's not necessarily fertility driven.
No, it's process driven.
Process driven. Yeah.
So now that we know what the numbers are
Right.
and actually working closer with the agency,
Right.
we can actually probably tighten up a little bit and actually save some dollars and follow the same process.
Okay.
We definitely feel a lot more equipped and prepared going in the next time.
You have one more set of challenges to get through.
Okay.
Yeah, we're up for it.
Okay. Because Tracy and Dan are older parents, they'll have to save for retirement while at the same time covering costs like childcare, extracurricular activities, and educational savings. My final challenge will help them juggle those competing priorities.
So I'm willing to give up all the wants to make sure that the needs are taken care of.
Tracy and Dan spent thousands of dollars on the long road to becoming parents.
There really was no price that was going to deter us from doing this. However, we just didn't know where the money was going to come from after a while. I mean, you deplete all your savings, you deplete your credit line.
I challenged them to build a budget and decide where to cut back so they could manage the mountain of debt they've amassed paying for fertility treatments. I asked them to cost out their next surrogate pregnancy.
You're looking anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000.
Now I'm challenging them to look towards the future and build a plan for their family. If they complete all my challenges, I'll award them up to $5,000. Having children in their 40s means that Tracy and Dan are facing the competing goals of saving for retirement and providing for their young daughter's future at the same time. Dan started with their retirement.
We don't plan on making any contributions this year and probably not next year. We don't have the funds to pay, so we are focusing on our debt.
Because they have some significant assets, these two can afford to take a few years off from retirement savings to deal with their other financial goals. Meanwhile, Tracy investigated the costs of their daughter's education.
If you want your daughter, who I know is only 7 months old now, if you want to guarantee that she's able to access a university education, it's in your best interest to prepare for that on your own. Do you have any idea of what it would cost to go to university these days?
I'm guessing, right?
Oh, okay.
Because it's been so long. So I'm going to say $40,000 for 4 years.
That's not too far off. You're up to about $6,000 for tuition.
Okay.
And then books, that's another $1,000. And I would recommend this any parent to look at 1 year in residence.
Okay.
The students really benefit. They don't have the travel time commitment. They're able to utilize the time studying.
So how does student loans work if my daughter needed to apply for one?
They're set up to really help families that have a financial need. Once you get up into the higher income brackets, you're restricted in how much money you can really borrow.
So all the more reason we need to prepare for my daughter's future.
If your daughter is able to start life without any debt from school,
Right.
then that's a tremendous advantage.
Obviously, I'd love to be a stay-at-home mom, but financially it's not feasible. And if I have to take on a part-time job or some freelance work or something that actually subsidizes our income in order to get where we need to go, I'm willing to step in as well and do my part.
Talk about retirement planning. In essence, what we've come up with here is if you just leave the money you already have to grow and 4 years from now you start contributing again, you'll have an income of about $70,000. If you're willing to go past 60 and add another 5 years on there before you retire, then you'll have pretty close to $100,000 in income just based on the interest.
So that's pretty good.
Don't you think?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really good.
We have a little bit of a surprise. We've actually secured someone to rent our basement here.
Wow!
Probably in about 6 months, we'll be able to contribute either to our debt or to our,
Baby making fund.
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is great.
Good. What have you decided you're going to do in terms of making sure that you have some money for Senta when she's ready to go to university?
Well, I think my original plan actually worked really well, which is taking advantage of the baby bonus.
Right.
And then actually either doubling that or maintaining that until
Yes.
she's the age of 18.
Yes.
And there's actually going to be a surplus for her.
So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
You have a plan for generating revenue off the cottage.
yeah.
You have a plan for generating revenue off your house. You have plans coming out the wazoo.
It's very good. And they're actually being executed.
Yeah. I feel really confident right now that we can accomplish all the things that we want to, pay off our debt, and actually set ourselves up really nicely for the future.
When I got here, you know, you were so focused on having that baby that everything else was sort of going to the dogs. You wanted it all. And you know my rule, you can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same time. So I think you've learned to prioritize and figure out what's really important. So I got here, you were overspending by $2,500 every month. That headed to about $1.2 million worth of debt. fixed the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. You've got a budget that is not only balanced, but has taken into account things like emergency funds and planning for the next baby. You have a debt repayment plan that gets you out of debt. I think you've done fabulously. I think you have a great life together.
Thank you.
And I think that it's all rosy going forward. Your life is so good, you probably don't need this. But I'll give it to you anyway.
Before Gail showed up, we were going in the wrong direction. Now we're actually on track. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but it's very realistic, and I know we can do it.
For Santa, a little boost to start our educational savings plan.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed by the gift that we received for Santa to get her started on her education plan. That's fantastic. That, compounded in 20 years, will have an awesome additional surplus to our current balance. So I'm very excited about that. We have a surprise.
Oh, really?
We were challenged with having our cake and eating it too, and what we did is split up our cakes into baby cakes.
We couldn't have our cake and eat it too, so we decided to have baby cakes. So we've got baby 1, baby 2, RSP cottage, RASP house, and there's no debt anywhere to be
No debt anywhere to be seen.
No. So I feel blessed to have met her. I'm going to thank her from the bottom of our hearts for coming into our lives and for letting us focus and for helping with our priorities and for letting us share our story.